Run Your Story family? This is Allison Gilliard with Run Your Story, where every story needs to be heard. And Sarah Bumgarner is such a sweet soul who truly loves not only the running community, but the community as a whole. She has such a giving heart and wants to use her gifts and talents to make our community as a whole better. And that is beautiful. You guys are going to love her story. I absolutely appreciate how she understands the importance of running for her as a mom, going through life, just putting on those running shoes and going for a little while and just being. And I think that is so important. And we need that. We need that reminder that our running shoes are there and we may not be in the middle of training for something, but maybe we just need to go clear our minds, and a run can help do that. So thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing your story, for sharing your love for this community, and for the Women's Resource Center. You're absolutely amazing. Can't wait to see you at This Is Life 5K. Speaking of, guys, it's happening Saturday. I'm so excited. And we are truly appreciative of the Women's Resource Center for believing in our Run Your Story runners who have come on here and shared their stories from the beginning till now. It has just been so exciting to be able to partner with such an incredible nonprofit that believes not only in the running community, but our community as a whole. Guys, if you haven't registered for This Is Life 5K, go and register, but also go and check out the Women's Resource Center Mobile. They do so much for our community, from the high schoolers to parenting classes, things for dads, things for moms, things for babies. So it is all around what they do to serve our community, and we are hand in hand with them. And so thank you to Marty, the staff, the volunteers at Women's Resource Center. Thank you for standing in the gap. Thank you for loving our community and for loving our running community and putting on such a great event. So guys, definitely go check out This Is Life 5K, register, sign up, volunteer if you want to. We love volunteers, and you can also volunteer at the Women's Resource Center ongoing. They will find a place for you. So good, so good. And our community is better because of nonprofits like the Women's Resource Center. They do such a phenomenal job. And to all of the nonprofits out there, keep doing what you're doing. You are amazing, and you are the glue that holds our community together. And we as runners love running for nonprofits. So thank you for what you're doing, for keeping us on the pavement, and for making our community better every day. All right, guys, lace up those running shoes and go run with my friend Sarah and her run story. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Sarah, for being here.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yay! So you are a runner, but you were given to us by Marty from Women's Resource Center.
Love her.
So I'm excited because we don't really know each other.
Right.
So obviously I have no idea what your run story is.
Okay.
So how does your run story begin?
Wow. Okay, so when I was in high school, I started running on the track team. Why did I start running track? Well, first of all, I'm not very coordinated. But then second of all, I think some of my friends were doing it. And so, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with my friends after school and run and not have to go home. And I just fell in love with it. I started off running like Phoebe from Friends. And then I was super controlled and concise. And even my aunt came to one of my first meets and was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Running, duh." I saw Forrest do it once. But yeah, it was so fun to learn that it's more than just getting out there and just hitting the pavement. There's skill that goes into it and things you have to do. And so I did it through high school and was really good at cheering other people on the team and just being that motivating voice. And so I was captain of the team, and I wasn't the best runner, but there was girls that were amazing. And so I was really supportive, and just even if I wasn't running that heat or whatever, I would be out there cheering them on or on the sideline. So I really loved it. We got to hang out all day together because meets are all day.
Right.
And then you got to meet so many people, and running 4 years, you're running with the same people at different schools and everything. So it's a little community, which I love. And then even through college, I worked at Mellow Mushroom.
Okay, yeah.
And somebody started the Mellow Milers, which was on Tuesday nights. And I just was naturally drawn to them. And so I got to wait on them. That was my group. I worked every Tuesday night. They knew me by name. Like, I still see people out. Joe from McCoy, he would come run, and that's how we really got to know each other. And then just so many other people in the community that I still see. And so it was a supportive little community. Again, they just stick together, and you see them at the races and you see them at just different things. So it's really fun to start off in high school with something you're just doing because somebody else is doing it. But then it really grows a passion. And I honestly think sometimes I just need to go run.
Yeah.
Because life gets tough or you get anxious or you get all in your thoughts. And I feel like running is the one time when I can just get out there and just go.
Yeah.
Not my mind going the whole time. My feet are moving. My body's moving. Just get out there. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love that. And I think it was so cool that you've experienced different types of running community. And now you're in a whole different other running community because Mellow Milers isn't there anymore, but now there's all these different running groups around here. And like you said, we get to see everybody at all the running events.
Right.
And it's another community within a community.
Yeah, and even so now my 10-year-old daughter, who's in 5th grade, has joined the Speedy Saints.
Oh.
Which is the cutest thing ever.
Yeah.
And she's not very good, but she's only run 2 races so far. And so she told me she wanted to sign up and try cross country. And I never did cross country. I did track, but I would condition all in the summer and in the fall and stuff to be able to run. But I never did the races where you had to run 2 miles. I was 800, 400, 4x4. That was me. And so she gets out there and does her first race and was like, don't ever make me do this. And I'm like, Liv, of course the first time's going to be hard. You got to keep going, and running's the one thing that you get better every time you do it. And so I try to get her to go out and run 2 miles with me. We live in Midtown, and I'm like, come on. And she's like, no, this is awful. And I'm like, who are you? But she's getting better at it. And she actually ran last night and was smiling the whole time. So I was like, well, I like to see that your attitude improved. Her time did not improve because she won't get out and run with me. But I think she'll get there eventually. Yeah. And she has friends that run too. And one of them was not feeling good all week. But she came last night and was cheering all the other girls on. Aww. And so afterwards we were in the car and she was like, Mom, Annie was so sweet to come and cheer us on. And she was really inspiring us to do good and do our best. And I was like, see, that right there. Yes. That's what you get. And, you know, talking to the other families and parents and stuff. And just being right back in that little running group again. Yeah. I love it. It's amazing.
Oh, I love that. I think that's one of the coolest things about once you get done going back for friends or going back and cheering people on, or as people cheer you on at the finish. And now with the next generation being able to do that. And you're just like, wow, this is a full circle moment.
Right. We're competing against each other, but really I've told her you're competing against your last time.
Absolutely.
So she ran, I think 26 something on the 2 miler. And I was like, that's actually really good for your first race.
Absolutely.
You know? And then last night it was a little over and it was close to 27. And I was like, well, but it was a lot hotter yesterday than it was a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to chalk it up to being hot.
Good job, Mom. Good job.
Sure.
So obviously there have been some lessons that you've learned from running. So what are some of those?
I think you have to keep doing it. It's not just going to be one of those things that you just get out there and you're very talented or coordinated or whatever. I mean, I guess most sports, but you have to get out there and run. Yeah. You have to practice. You have to do the hard things. And so for me, it was endurance. About teamwork, even though you're running sometimes by yourself if you're not in a relay, and then you're still there as a team. Yeah. And then I think just pursuing things that you love. If you like something, pursue it. I think those other girls that I had ran with in high school, they dropped out and started doing other things or basketball or whatever. And I was just like, I'm going to keep going. I like this. So I could have easily quit, you know, and gone back with my friends and done whatever. But I mean, I think it's so true with life too. We have to do hard things sometimes and keep going. We have to come alongside our friends or teammates and help carry them sometimes or cheer them on when it's tough. And even with what God calls us to do, run the race. But he didn't say run the race by yourself. He's like, run the race together. I put y'all in community together. And so I ran the 400. I wasn't running a 200-meter sprint. There's no way. They would have laughed me off the track. And that's okay because that was my place. Yeah. And I feel the same way with the church and the community that we're in. Everybody has their talents that God's given them. Everybody has their strengths, their weaknesses. And I just think it's so important that we recognize those. Just like in a race, I'm not getting out there and doing cross country. I'm going to stick to my little 1 lap around or 2 laps around or whatever. And I'm doing something to benefit those around me. In the meantime, that's what I love also so much about the Women's Resource Center and what Marty does. She has been such an inspiration to me, and I didn't go through those kind of things at a young age. I didn't thankfully have to deal with some of the stuff that some of the women in our community, some of the young girls in our community have to deal with. I went to a private school growing up, and so some of the conversations that they're having in the public schools with these young girls, we constantly have every year. It's like, hey, this is who you are. This is what's special about you. Don't be giving up what's special about you. So I grew up knowing, okay, these are special things. That is not just for everybody. Whereas some of the young girls they encounter, the women even, have never been told, you're special.
Yeah.
Like, you're important. You matter. And so having what they do is such an important thing in our community. They're running their race that was put before them. Marty, for sure. Oh, my goodness. And so I love that I can be a small part of that in the different things that I've got talents for. So, like I said, I'm a marketing director, and I've been in marketing for as long as I can remember and just have a natural knack for talking, if you can't tell. And so I can really get out there and be a cheerleader for what they do, or help spread the word of events, or volunteer, or do a diaper drive, or whatever it is she needs me to do sometimes. And I think that's something that she has, that kind of intuition or the God-given insight to be able to look at people and say, Sarah would be good for that, or Allison would be good for that, or this person. So she can see us, and God says, you need to ask her to do this, or you need to ask. So she doesn't have me in there currently mentoring parents and doing things, because that's not where I am in my life right now. That might be one day down the road, but she knows the availability of people, and she trusts us. And I just think it's amazing how she puts so many people together to do so many great things and build the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
We're called to do. So
I love that. One of the things that I say the most is that I wasn't called to do anything great, but I was called to support those that do.
Exactly.
And I was given a loud voice for a reason. And so I'm with you, the whole cheerleading thing. I will be on the sidelines. I will be the backup support.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
Right.
So that resonates so strongly with me. And I appreciate you saying that, because you do have those on the front lines. You do have those that they've been called to just be immersed in it.
Yeah.
And then you have the rest of us that are like, how can I help you? And in what way can I do that? And it's been said numerous times over the years, and it's what I've heard, is that we all have a place and we all have something to offer someone and something. And so you just have to get involved. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love your passion. And I love that you've intertwined community so importantly within community.
Right.
I think that is just so cool.
Yeah, well, for the longest time, I was so independent, and I just didn't want help from anyone. I was like, I got this, I can do this. I felt like it was a sign of weakness if I wouldn't be able to do it by myself.
Sure.
I think it was just something happened to me in childhood or something, and I put up these walls, and I was like, I'm the one that's going to take care of you and you, and I don't need anything. I've got this. And then I went through some things a few years ago, and I was forced to do a lot of things on my own that I could not do.
Yeah.
And so I had to rely on family. I had to rely on friends, and it was such a blessing. And I realized Miss Nancy, this lady I used to work with, told me one day, she goes, when you do not let somebody help you, you take away their blessing. And I was like, man, nobody's ever told me that before. And here I am being blessed by what they're doing for me, but also they're being blessed because they got to do what I always do, which made me feel good. And I just never looked at it the other way. And so the past 4 years, I would not have been able to make it as a full-time working single mom that volunteers way too much probably and keep a household together. And owning a home is so hard. Like, why does everything break?
And those are the moments where you're like, I'm going to go for a run.
Yes,
I'm going to leave this.
Exactly.
And I'm going to go clear my head.
Exactly. Lace up your tennis shoes. And just the world just goes behind you.
Absolutely.
But
I love that. Love not what you've gone through, but I love
Right.
that you see the value of community.
Yeah.
And as you said, we help each other. I think one of the coolest things that I like seeing are the videos of other runners that help each other cross the finish line.
Yes.
And they're like, I'll take the DQ, I'll take whatever it is, but this person isn't going to finish alone.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, wow, that's the power of running.
Yeah. I saw a video somebody posted the other day, and it was a triathlon, and the brother,
That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
he had a younger brother that wanted to do the triathlon, and he pulled him in a canoe in the water.
Yeah.
He pulled a little bike thing behind him, and then he pushed him across the finish line. And I'm like, I got out of breath walking the groceries to my house the other day from the car. Go you.
For
I was
real.
crying.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, my 10-year-old's like, are you seriously crying again? I'll cry at a commercial. It's so funny. But yeah, I think that I've grown so much in the last 4 years going through all that. And one of my favorite sayings is the Charles Spurgeon, kiss the wave that pushes me against the rock of ages. And it's been my mantra for the past few years. And it's just like, man, that was really tough, but gosh, look how good God is.
Yeah.
And look how much closer I am in my walk with God. He'd probably go running with me if we could go running together.
Right.
He is running with me because he's got to keep up when I run.
Oh. Listen, I'm pretty sure my neighborhood is like, oh, there's the crazy girl again. Because sometimes I'm like, let's just put on our Jesus jams. Let's go for
Love
a run.
it. Yes.
And there's been some of the most intense prayers that I've prayed. And it's really helped me to understand in faith where it talks about you have to give it to him. Well, once you're done with that mile, you can't go change that. That mile's been done. And so it's really helped me to leave those burdens and to be like, you know what, Lord, we went for a run and I've left it there.
I love that.
And so one of the things I say is that I can't go get the tears or the miles back. And so you leave it all on the pavement.
Man, that's great. I'm going to start telling people, if you go down Old Shell, don't trip over all my burdens,
That's
okay? Because I left them there today.
That's right,
okay?
there we go. Well, you have to get over the concrete that's busting through the seams at Midtown.
That's one thing with Liv. I'm like, please watch where you're running. I cannot go to the dentist. If you
It's a little parkour area.
It is.
Yeah.
But I love it. I
It's
love
such a great area.
Midtown. I love the brokenness. I love the oldness. I love everything about
The trees
it.
in the way.
Oh my
100%.
I love it. I'm like, yes, this has had life. This is lived. This has changed. Like, I don't like a lot of new things because I'm like, oh, so new and boring. Like, I'm complete opposite. I'm like, I love the rustic crack. Oh, wait, that's not a good Probably need to get that checked.
There we go. That's great. Do you happen to have a favorite race?
Let's see. I do a lot of 5Ks now. We did the color run for a few years across the bay, and it was a lot of fun. And I do love the Women's Resource Center 5K.
So good.
Yeah. And so I didn't run it last year, but I actually set up Rich's Car Wash. We have this little kitty car wash, and it's so cute. And the kid.
That was fun.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, yeah.
And so
that was a huge hit.
Oh my goodness. So many kids. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, y'all got to go with your parents now, but it'll be here when you get back. But I had an idea one day to do that. And so my amazing coworkers love all my dumb ideas, and they put it together and made it happen for me. And it's been such a hit. Like, people are like, are you going to bring the kitty car wash? So anyway, it looks like a little car wash made out of PVC pipe.
It's
and
amazing.
Pool noodles
Yes.
and streamers, and the kids just ride the little cozy coupe through it. And I just love it because the kids are doing their thing, and I get to talk to the parents. So most of the time I'm beside the thing and somebody else is watching, and I have a little table set up and we'll just chat. And so again, with community, you get to interact with people and talk to them and hear what they're doing there. And sometimes they share their story with you. And I mean, I'm sure there's a reason God had them share that story. And just start praying over them and, you know, asking God, what am I going to do with this? What is it you want me to do? And so I love that I get to be out and about so much. People ask me sometimes, they're like, I don't understand how you do it all. And I'm like, I think things just come up and I'm available. I'm like, yes, God, I will go to this.
Yeah.
I will go to this event with all the food. And if you need me to do it.
I will say one of the coolest after parties is the Women's Resource Center because one, there's a coffee truck.
Yes.
The other, the food, phenomenal.
So good.
And now, granted, I did not win a raffle prize last year.
I know.
However, There were some great raffle prizes.
There was.
And I was like, well, hello.
I was like, I should have ran.
You just be like, listen, Marty, I need you to stick my name in there.
Yes.
And it was so cool because I loved how, especially when kids won, they were like, I want a fishing pole. And they may never even be a fisherman. But they were just so excited.
Yeah.
And again, it was that community coming together and saying, we support this run.
Yeah.
We support what they're doing. And it was just something different, something fun. And the park there is just fabulous.
It's so cute. Yes.
Yeah.
And they had, what's the girl's name that sings? Anyway, her voice is so beautiful, and she just sings so beautiful. And then the big jumpy slide thing they had. So I was there, and then one of my marketing people, and then our director of operations came because I can't transport the kiddie car wash. It's too big. I've asked for a marketing Suburban.
You're like, it needs a crane.
I have not got it. So he puts it in his truck and brings it. And anyway, we raced up the slide. And
So fun.
so we both started on one side because it was like a double thing that came down. And so we both raced up and then came down, and then he won. And then one of the little girls that had been coming through the wash or whatever, she was probably 6 or 7. She was like, your dad beat you. She's like 5 years older than me. And I was like, oh, you're my dad. It was so, I was like, I don't even care if I won. That was
Your slam.
Yes.
Slam dunk there. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
When you do go for a run, what's your favorite running item? Like, you have to take this with you.
Oh my gosh. I have this little armband that I wear, and I can just slide my cell phone in it. And I don't even have to use my earbuds if I don't want to, in which I get nervous doing anyway.
Sure.
Like, I'm a single lady running by myself. Makes me nervous that anybody could come up behind me if I had my earbuds in and I wouldn't know it. Not that I don't think that area is safe.
Sure.
It's just the world
It's
we
the
live
world,
in.
yeah.
And so I have this little armband that I can slide my phone in. It's got mesh on the front. I got it from Lululemon. And so it connects, like you can tighten it up or whatever. So Liv can wear it, or even my little 7-year-old will wear it sometimes when we go on bike rides. But I can listen to my music or podcast or whatever it is I want to listen to, and just run down the road and not have to worry about whatever happens. And then I also have my phone with me. So if I do trip over one of those routes, I'm like 911. I have my phone. And I think that's one of the things I run with all the time. I usually run about 2 or 3 miles, so I'm not in need of a water bottle.
Sure.
And jelly beans and all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Running shoes? What's your favorite running shoe?
Right now, I've really been running in my On Clouds. I have a little bit of back issues every now and then. I think after my second child, I herniated a disc in my back.
Yeah.
I know, getting old, so fun. So I'm really not supposed to run because of the impact of my feet on the pavement. But these shoes seem to have a really good, they've got the thick little soles on them that go from the top to the back, and they just seem to be the best ones for me. I've tried the Saucony and the
Oh, so you're in the
Nikes.
are you in the Monster? Is that what it is?
I don't think it's the Monster. I'd have to go back. I think it's just the On Cloud. But I like it a lot. And I think I have seen those, and I've thought about getting them, but I just haven't upgraded. I mean, all my money goes to my kids.
Yeah,
so
sure, that's fair.
She has brand new running shoes, by the way, that we got from McCoy's. But yeah, so far. And like I said, I don't run every day anymore, but when I need to, I just get out there. And if I start feeling a little whatever, I'll walk some. But as long as I can walk, I'm good.
Yeah, I love that. Do you have a favorite core running memory?
Well, I would have said maybe if we would have done this interview a few weeks ago that it was probably a race that I did where we won the 4x4 race. And I went to Baker High School, okay, and we did not run a lot. We didn't win a lot of races, and we ran against St. Paul's and UMS and all these teams that were like, where do you train, you know? And so it was just crazy, and we won a 4x4 one night, and I was thrilled.
Yeah.
And I was always so nervous about dropping the baton. But anyway, so that was the highlight. I was like, I won something. But now I think with Liv running, I watched her cross that finish line that first race. And I got so choked up. I was like, don't cry in front of all these people. Do not cry in front of her. She's going to be mad at me for crying in front of her friends or whatever. But oh my gosh, it was something just comes over you. It's
sure.
Yeah, and it's almost like whenever you see your son hit his first baseball without a tee, or a kid. It's a different kind of proud.
Oh, 100%.
I was not expecting it. It just overwhelmed me, and I was like, what is that? I'm so proud of her. And she was like, I hate this. I love kids. I love kids.
You talked about carrying your phone with you and listening to a podcast or music. So what do you listen to?
Usually I try to listen to upbeat stuff because I like to run with the beat, which is funny because sometimes you'll probably see me and I'm running and you're like, what is she doing?
Yeah, I like it.
So anything with a high beat, try to run with the beat to get my pace up sometimes. I love Florence and the Machines, Need to Breathe, Bruno Mars.
Okay. Well, that's an oldie.
I wish I could dance like him too. Some Foster the People. Every now and then, maybe some Taylor Swift. I have a big mix. Like, I think you would be embarrassed if you saw my playlist.
No.
Because it's Allman Brothers to Taylor Swift. And it's like, okay, well. But it's just, sometimes I just need to get out of my head. So just
for sure,
beats I enjoy and can run to and keeps me going. I don't listen to a lot of slower songs. I like Juan Diego, of course. Just don't ever listen to the radio, really.
Yeah.
I want to be able to control my music.
Sure.
So
there you go. I like. Hey, that's
got
good.
some Kesha on there too.
There you go. Do you have a favorite recovery tool?
Oh my gosh, my trigger point.
Oh,
foam roller.
Yeah. Okay.
It has gone to work with me. It has gone on vacation with me. It sits in my bedroom. Last night, Olivia was like, my back's a little sore. I was like, get the foam roller out. And I use it for my neck, for my shoulder, for my calves, for my glutes, like back. Anytime I wake up and I'm like, oh, I think I slept plenty, I just get it out and I love it. I've watched some of the videos on how to use it for different things, even my feet. You don't realize how much impact you're putting on your feet all day, every day, especially us women that have to wear heels. Oh my goodness. And so I just love it. I'll roll it out, and then if I still feel bad the next day, I'll roll it out again until I feel a little better. And I think it works great. And I've had that thing for years. And I've seen the other ones that are like the bars and the little balls and stuff. My cousin uses the balls. He plays golf a lot, and he'll roll around on those, and he loves it. So if you've never heard of trigger point therapy.
Oh, they're amazing. Yeah, their products are good.
Amazing. There used to be a lady in town that taught. She would come, like I did bar 3 a lot.
Ah, okay.
And she was the one who originally came and did a class and showed us how to do different things. And I was like, yes, I'll buy one. Give me one. And I've had that thing ever since.
That's cool. Wow. That's so cool.
I highly recommend.
When you're not running and chasing your kids,
Yes.
do you have a cross-training activity that you like to do?
I think for the most part, I do bar 3 a lot.
Okay.
I think it builds up because it has yoga, bar, and Pilates.
So I do through Peloton. Oh, my heavens.
Yeah. And I started working out at bar 3, and the lady that owns it, Amanda, she actually goes to City Hope Church with me. She's so sweet. And it's the best shape I've ever been in. Now, I haven't been in a while because McGregor's all messed up.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's how I would get from the school to the gym or to the gym to school. And so now I have to go around the world. And so it's just not as convenient. But I told her, as soon as McGregor's fixed, I'm going to be back there 4 or 5 days a week. Because, I mean, it's the best shape, especially for your legs. Doing all that bar holds and everything. I'm just like, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. What advice would you give to somebody that wants to start running or walking?
I guess the best advice I would give would be to just start somewhere. You're not going to start running a 5K your first time out or walking a 5K even. That's a lot. You got to start in increments. It's just like building any kind of endurance. You've got to start and do a little bit at a time and just each time add more, add more. And I was running with Olivia the other day, and so funny. She was running with me, and then she stops and she's holding her side, and she's like, my side really hurts. And I was like, yeah, just pinch it and keep going. Like, hello. Do you even know how to run? But I was like, yeah, that's from running. You literally just have to walk it out or run it out. And I was like, it'll get better each time. But I think just start somewhere and each time build on it. And don't do anything that would hurt you. If it hurts, especially in your knees or your legs or whatever, that's not good. Sometimes they say, work out, no pain, no gain. It's not the same with running. You will pull a muscle or whatever so fast, and stretch. stretch. Like I harp on that to my daughter all the time. You have to stretch before, and I even say you need to stretch after.
Oh, for sure.
They don't do it that much at the races. Maybe they're supposed to, and they just don't do it. But I'm like, you do not need to sit down. Get up and walk around because you are going to hurt tomorrow. And I mean, I get up and stretch every morning anyway because these old bones. But you have to stretch. Stretch it out before, or you're going to have shin splints or Charlie horses in the middle of the night or whatever, especially if you don't drink enough water. Drink water, start slow, and stretch.
Those are good. Those are very, very good. When you're out clearing your head, and let's say that a run's not going well or you're in a race and something's not going well, you did mention there's a mantra that you say to yourself in life. Do you say that same mantra, or is there something else that you tell yourself when you want to give up?
I think that I just tell myself one more step. One more mile, one more, you're almost there. And I've even told Olivia this before, just look at something on the race route. Oh, if I could just get to that tree, if I could just get to that stop sign, if I could just, and so I just take it one bite at a time, basically.
Yeah, sure.
If it gets to be overwhelming, so just keep going and one more. Yeah, one more.
I love that. That's good. That's really good. Do you have any running goals?
I would love to do some larger races.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm just so scared. My back. I don't want to hurt myself. My son went out and wanted to run with me the other day because Olivia was not wanting to do it. And I was already ready to go. I was like, well, come on, Anders, we'll just go walk. And he was like, I'll run with you. And so we ran a mile, with half a mile. And then I was like, okay, let's come back because I was afraid he wasn't going to make it back. And so he was doing so good. I said, maybe you're going to be my little runner guy. I was like, okay. So that would be so cool if one day we could go run a race together or train together or something like that. I think that would be awesome. But if not, I'll just keep doing what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It's so cool because I'm in a different season of parenthood. Mine are off at college.
Yeah.
But to see how their running stories are blooming even more, and you're just like, well, that's really cool. Now, my kid's pace is so much faster than mine.
For sure.
But you're just like, I'm just grateful that they have that. Again, they can just go clear their mind. Or with our son, with his competitive running, that it's there for them.
Right.
And it's just, I would have never imagined that.
Right.
I would have never thought that would have been something that they continued on with. So
yeah.
It's been really fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm sure for you, it's going to be like, wow, this is super.
Yeah.
Maybe Liv will be like, this is not as bad as.
That's what I keep hoping. I'm like, Lord, if it's your will, I know you've got a plan. But it's funny because she's really tall, especially for her age. And so people think she's 7th or 8th grade. And
Wow.
She's 10. And so she loves basketball. She's so good at it, but she doesn't have the endurance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, if you would just run, you would be up and down that court so fast. You would get down there before the other girl even dribbled down or whatever. And she's like, oh, you're just saying that. I know nothing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm like, all right, girl.
When you aren't running, what fuels you? What are you passionate about?
Oh, rest.
That is very fair.
I love to volunteer and help nonprofits. As we were talking about before, using our talents and being away, I'm really good at fundraising and event planning. I don't know how, I just see pieces come together and I love events, just being able to plan this and do that and then see it all come to fruition and then be successful. And so I volunteer a lot. I've helped the Junior League of Mobile, Lifelines Counseling Services. We started a big event, the Brunch Fest. And so we have seen that grow from something really small and it's gotten bigger each year. And it's just exciting. And then helped Marty with the 40th anniversary gala last year, or actually it was the beginning of this year.
It was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Loved it. I could have stayed there
So good.
all night.
Yeah, I agree.
And actually got to take Olivia to that with me. So it was super special.
For sure.
Because on the way there, I prefaced a little bit about why and what, and then she had some questions after that I was able to answer. And I talked to her. I think it's real important to be empathetic of other people. But yeah, so I love fundraising and event planning and just using my talents that God gave me. To help other people. I'm not going to go plan an event for myself and it be all about me.
Sure.
Like I just can't do that. But if I could take my time and use it for somebody else's benefit. That's why we've been given talents, right?
Yeah.
And so I think I'm just very passionate about seeing our nonprofits in the community thrive.
Oh, absolutely.
I think a lot of them go unnoticed for the great work that they do. And if it wasn't for a lot of these people doing what they do, our community would be in shambles.
Oh,
I
sure.
mean, we think it's bad now. Imagine if we didn't have the United Way or Lifelines or Women's Resource Center putting in all that time and effort. And so I just think it's important that we support them.
Oh, absolutely.
And I love talking about them. I love helping them. I love doing whatever I can. And so my kids get tired of it. They're like, "Oh, you have another meeting." I'm like, yes, one day you'll understand.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's great.
That's awesome. This has been so fun.
Yeah, I love it.
I appreciate what you do for the community, making it better. And as you said, taking what you have to offer the community and saying, what can I do to make a difference? And I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah, especially having 2 kids and you have your kids. What are we doing to leave it better than we found it? That's something that's very ingrained in me from my grandparents down. And I can't even go into the break room without cleaning it up a little bit because I'm like, this is not, we got to make this better. And so I know that my kids are going to have to live in this world. And if I could do one little thing that makes the needle move, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because we know how impactful one little change can be.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you, Sarah, so much.
Thank you for having me.
Don't you just love Sarah? What a great story how her running started off as track and then Mellow Mushrooms on Tuesday night and then being more involved in the running community. I think that is so amazing. And as we talk about so much on this podcast is that we go through seasons of life, as does our running. It changes, our schedules change, we move, our jobs change, whatever it is, family dynamics, that our running changes and it goes through its own journey. And so for Sarah, that is such a beautiful thing. And now she's watching her daughter run and cross finish lines. That is absolutely full circle moment. And I think that is just so cool. I think that is the other cool thing about running is how our stories, one chapter may come to an end, but there's always another chapter and there's always somebody else that comes into that story. And that's what I love about Run Your Story podcast, the stories that intertwine and just how beautiful your stories are. And so again, thank you, Sarah. Thank you for your heart. You have such a beautiful heart for community and such a beautiful heart for helping nonprofits like the Women's Resource Center. Just absolutely incredible, and we need more people like you. So thank you so much, Sarah, and for your run story. And thank you to Marnie and the Women's Resource Center, again, for introducing me to Sarah, but also for what you guys do, making our community better every day by going into the classrooms, by serving our families, by just being there. And so truly grateful for the staff and volunteers at the Women's Resource Center. You guys are absolutely incredible. You are true warriors. And again, thank you for putting on events like This Is Life 5K. Absolutely amazing. And I cannot tell you all the amazing things that the Women's Resource Center has done just for my life, but for so many others in our community. And so definitely swing by there. Say, hey guys, I want to tour the Women's Resource Center. And I guarantee you they will be more than happy to do that. Swing in and say, hey, how can I get connected? What can I do to help serve? And that goes with any nonprofit in our community. I know that it takes many hands to make these incredible organizations happen. And so find a place. I know that they can find something for you there. As Sarah says, use your gifts and talents and pour back into the community, especially with the nonprofits that give so much to the running community. This is one way that we get to give back. So definitely go check the Women's Resource Center and other nonprofits and say, hey, how can I get involved? And hope to see you at This Is Life 5K. It's going to be so much fun. And again, thank you to Women's Resource Center for putting this on. And thank you to Gilliard Tech Services. Guys, we've had a little bit of dysfunctioning going on our websites. And so Greg Gilliard has been trying his hardest to get it set up, get it going. And so we are truly grateful for Greg Gilliard from Gilliard Tech Services for standing in the gap for this non-tech girl. And, hackers have nothing better to do than to hack our Run Your Story website. So thank you, Greg from Gilliard Tech Services, for trying to get everything back up and going, and so appreciate you. And for editing this podcast, we are so grateful and appreciate you so very much. And guys, if you need an updated website or want a brand new one, Greg Gilliard has got you. And again, he will stand in the gap and fight for you and fight for your website. So that is what he's having to do right now. So I appreciate that and appreciate all that he does. And again, to Mars Hill for giving us such a beautiful and safe place to be able to record, to share our stories, and to share the joys and sorrows, to share the trials and triumphs. And so thank you to Mars Hill so much for believing in the Run Your Story community. And to our Patreon supporters, absolutely love you. You guys are amazing. I hope you've enjoyed your My Race Tat swags that you've gotten, and so appreciate you guys and the heart that you have for this running community and for Run Your Story. I absolutely love and adore you. All right, guys, until next time, go run your story, because every story needs to be heard.